Hello and welcome to the Smell the Glove podcast. I am St. Paulie D, aka Jungle Jim 67 on Twitter.
I'm Dr J, MB Bodeep on Twitter. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas is a Christmas special. Suppose before we go any further, we better explain. You're going to hear a wee bit of car noise, aren't we? Because where are you just now, Dr J?
I just finished with my son at the Olympic Development Program tryouts for his 2001 birth year. So we're on our way back from Columbia, South Carolina. So they'll give you a difference of scope and size. Like Canada, the U.S. is a little bit larger than Scotland. So we had to drive 3.5 hours to go to ODP tryouts just for the state of South Carolina. So,
and the wee man played well?
Yeah, I think he'll make it this year, and hopefully he's starting to get a little taller. So I like the way he's getting. You know, the kid's is July baby, so he's 13 and a half, and he wears an 11 size shoe already.
Christ, so that'll be 10 in UK sizes if you want to know the conversion back home. But yeah, so we've had a couple of games since last went on. We obviously had the European game against Dynamo, and we've also had today's game against St Mirren. What are your thoughts? Should we start with the European game?
Well, actually, don't forget we had the Partick match.
Oh, we did.
We had a 1-0 Partick. So
okay, well, I'm going to be honest. I didn't actually see the Partick game because I was working. So why don't you talk me through it?
And this is easy. Let's do our 3 point. We'll do 3 points for each game.
Cool.
3 points. Yeah, the 3 points for Partick was, I would say the first one was, Virgil obviously scoring was nice, but what I really hate to see, which is the beginning of what our problem is with our defense, which is going to be a common theme for the next 3 games we talk about, is FA. And there was a point in which there was an open header in the Partick match, and the guy just totally missed the header to put them up at the end of the game, just before we scored. Actually, I take it back. And FA just absolutely just went crazy, flailing his arms around because FA basically fell asleep. So I mean, FA had an issue there. Gordon saved our ass at the end. That would be the second thing. He's been obviously the signing of the game. And Tonev in that game, odd, man. He ran. But that's it. I mean, his final ball, again, is pitched, and we absolutely had 100% of the ball, played really, really well, and really, really odd type stuff. I don't know. I just didn't really finish all that well. Same thing with Motherwell, by the way.
Yeah.
Motherwell, another 3 points. It was okay. I mean, Baton, came in, played really, really well in that match. Better than Mulgrew, don't you think?
I'm liking Baton a lot more than Mulgrew.
I know.
His control of the ball seems better. I don't think he has a great range of passing, but he's not trying to force anything stupid. He's just doing tidy little passes. He's
or sit on it either.
Yeah, he's still a work in progress. Very much so. There's a lot of elements of his game you can see that definitely need improving. He could also do with potentially becoming a little bit quicker, but the kind of the sense of urgency that we have with the front guys going, he doesn't have the same urgency as like the Johanssons, etc. going forward. But maybe that's a good thing. Well, those guys are running about at 100 miles an hour. He's the guy that just takes the ball and just slowly puts his foot on the ball and then picks the pass and doesn't try and do anything stupid, doesn't try and force it. So I haven't got any great issue with the way he's playing. In fact, I'm quite excited to see him in the team, and I think he needs a run. I think that's the main thing. He does need a run.
Well, since that game, he's played every game and has played very, very well. And I think what's helped is my second point of the Motherwell match, which obviously we won 1-0, but the addition of Forrest on the right-hand side with Stokes on the left has made this a left and right attacking team, which is opening up the link-up play. And you could tell this is going on because that's how. Remember in Motherwell, against Motherwell, we had a billion shots, made the guy look really, really good, the goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. And for everything that went on, we attacked the left and the right and the left and the right, and we had some stupid finishing. But man, it was unbelievable. No, the number 3 for me is the link-up play, and the third point out of that game that we got that I got out of the game was that was the best I've seen them link up together from back to front passing the ball on the ground, playing really, really well, and made a million chances. Finishing school and crossing practice was the order of the day after
Was this
Motherwell.
sorry? Is this the Motherwell game you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, Motherwell.
I gotta say, like,
That was unbelievable.
yeah, obviously, like you're saying, I didn't see that game, but I watched the highlights back. And when you're watching highlights, it's difficult to tell if they've just cherry picked really good areas of passing for 10 minutes highlights and just made the team look good, or if they were genuinely that good. And if you watch the highlights back on the YouTube channel of that Motherwell game, Celtic look, I mean, it's some of the best passing and movement we've seen since the likes of Tommy Burns was there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely brilliant stuff. So, yeah, I was glad to see that. It's just I wasn't sure if that was just the highlights or not, but it's good to hear that you guys are giving them rave reviews.
Yeah, but you know what though? That
What?
if you bleed that over into Zagreb, what's the one difference that we had going on there? Actually, the one difference that we had was that we had no one on the right and no one on the left.
Yeah.
We took out Forrest, we took out Stokes, and Mubarak just didn't do it. His tiki taka type passing with Izzy on the left wasn't there. We became one dimensional,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, I mean, just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And when did the second goal come? The third goal, and a lot more attacking came at the end when they brought Stokes on, which for me was definitely important for him to get some play, everything else. But I'll tell you what though, Effie is a freaking I don't give a shit how well he plays from now on. He's just a fucking nightmare.
I've got to be honest.
Even in that game,
I felt that I think Effie's kind of came on in the last few games and played not bad considering everyone's giving him pelters. He did give the ball away again today in a bad area, but one of my points that I was going to put in my bottom five and all that was I think the defensive problems, everyone's pinpointing them on Effie, but I think they go further than just Effie because there's a couple of times today, I mean, I'm loving the way Izzy's playing at the moment going forward, but he passed the ball right across his own goal line. And if it was lucky the St Mirren player was half asleep, because see if he wasn't, he would have latched onto that and ran through on goal. Effie gave the ball away at one point as well, but like some of the Van Dijk stuff as well has been pretty laxed. It's got to a stage where we're trying to play so much football and we're playing really quite good football and passing all the time and we're not hitting the long ball where some of the guys are getting so laxed. I think there's one or two balls going about at the back that look a little bit suspect. I mean, am I picking up on something that's not there, or do you think that's actually
no?
happening?
I think what's happened is a couple fold with that game. I think Van Dijk. I don't want to play like I'm a mind reader, saying that he thinks he's off or he's not interested. I people say that, but he has a different level of enthusiasm. It looks like, or I'll put it this way. Energy expenditure while he's chasing the ball. In the past, it looked like he was a little bit, he's floating to the ball, everything else. I don't know. I just don't get that same level of excitement or exuberance getting to the ball or playing the ball out, which I don't want to see. I mean, I know I can feel it's there only because I keep hearing about how much he loves other teams and likes the idea of Arsenal and all this other stuff. I mean, I don't know. I don't see it. You put that together with Denier being out, and then the issue with Lustig being hurt. I mean, who knows what's going on back there? But something big time needs to happen. If we're going to get rid of him, let's go ahead and get rid of Van Dijk and let's get something handled. But bring O'Connell, do something. Just do something. Because
I'm not as
it's
concerned
killing.
as you. I mean, I think that there's back in the day we'd say paper talk, but these days it's internet talk where someone says, "Oh, he wants away. He said this, and all that," and he might obviously want it. I mean, any foreign player at Celtic probably wants a trip to the Premiership to go and sign on for more money for a bigger club or what they think's a bigger club. I wouldn't get too carried away about that. I mean, I think it's just a natural thing about the club. I think he looks like the goals he's scoring and all that. He looks like he's enjoying football a bit more than he was. I think he was maybe a wee bit sulky at the start of the year, but this constant grind at, oh, he thinks he's away. A lot of the people on the internet are just this guy's making up random stories that suddenly become fact. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think there's probably people sniffing about him and all that, but just don't think that I don't think he's thrown in the towel. I think he's still playing reasonably well. Or what do you think?
I think, like, once again, I think if you look back to the defensive back four that broke the record last year, right, of all the minutes in a row, no one was hurt. It was the same four people the entire time, and the Lustig a little bit in between. And Matthews came in, but that was basically the same back four throughout the entire middle of the, and part of the season where forced out all the shutouts. So I'm going to assume that one, FA's lack of confidence, two, Denier not being there, and three, I don't know if Van Dijk really this really wants to be. I don't know. But it's got. I mean, do you have anything else? I mean, besides just players not being there to play together? Do you think it's that more than anything else?
It may be. I think that it's probably a couple of factors. One, the way we're playing football and passing and moving. There's the guys are getting forward and playing football, and I think that once we go a couple up on a team, we're trying to be a little bit too skillful, a little bit too silky, playing balls that we shouldn't really play. Defenders try to force passes. When you try and force passes, you're always got the issue there where you might lose the ball, and I think that happened a couple of times. Matthews once, Izagiri once, and Ambrose definitely. I can remember in that game. I think Matthews is not playing good football. I think his confidence is down. I just don't know what's happening with the guy, probably due to the fact that he's probably twigged that Lustig is the number one guy at Celtic to play right back now. When that happens, it's difficult to be on the bench for so long, then suddenly come in and then think that the manager has faith in you. It's like, there's sometimes, like, some players will have a chip on their shoulder and come out and be like, I'm going to show him, and a lot of players are just like, well, this manager doesn't fancy me as much as the last one. So I think he's not playing good football. There's probably a couple of factors in why he's not. I think that probably the turnover, I don't think it's been huge turnover. I mean, like, the concept of, like, all right, we've lost Denier, so bringing on Ambrose really should be prepared to play with Van Dijk, and Van Dijk should be ready to play with Ambrose. They played together all last year.
They played all year. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
In that back four that had the record. So I don't really see it's not like we're bringing in, like, random Bosmans to come in and play at the back, like the Mistoroviches and Muyukolos or whatever. These guys have been playing together for a while, so I think it's probably the change of football. Try to play a little bit. Well, I don't want to say try to play too much football, because I enjoy the way they play football, but we're being quite ambitious with our passing at the back, and we're losing the ball. Lack of confidence in Matthews, and probably a lack of confidence in Ambrose as well. However, I think that Ambrose, he shows a lot of character to the way he's playing at the moment, because the amount of abuse and pelters that he's getting, even from this show, because we've given him a hard time as well, and he goes out, he's still playing alright. I don't think he's playing, like, in the last couple of games, I don't think he's been dreadful. It's probably not very cool to say that, and it's a lot more funny for us to just completely bash Ambrose like we did.
30 seconds into today, he got nutmegged, and if it wasn't for the fact that the guy for St. Mirren couldn't finish, it would have been 1-0 St. Mirren before we even had a chance to even crack the beer open.
Well, in fairness, I'd have loved to have seen that, but my stream wasn't working in the first 3 minutes, so I missed that. I missed that entirely, so I might be talking out of pish in that respects, but the last couple of games prior to that as well, I think he's played not that bad. I don't think he's been brilliant, but I don't think he's been that out-and-out liability. I think that what happens is when we start conceding goals, we start looking for a scapegoat, and Ambrose made himself a very easy one by constantly being lax.
Being the goat? Being the actual goat? Yeah. But I'll tell you what, through all things considered, the Zagreb match, finishing up on that by itself here, there were 3 positives to the match. One was obviously no injuries. 2 was no red cards. And 3 was Henderson and Fisher finally getting some game time. To me, that was the 2 biggest parts. I
really like both of those players. I've got more of a soft spot for Henderson because I think that there is a hole and there is a position in centre midfield that we currently need filled. And I don't think he might not be able to step up and take it now, but I think he's got more of a chance to get in the team, whereas at the moment, Fisher, even though I think he's probably playing better than or I'd like to see him ahead of Matthews, I don't see Ronnie dropping Matthews for Fisher in the upcoming weeks.